Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you guys like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So Joe Biden last night gave his final State of the Union address of his term, and it was nothing other than a total disaster. The guy gets up there and he's angry. They probably got him on something, who knows what, because he was hyped up for once in his life, and usually when he gives an angry speech and attacks half the country, that's what they do, and he did nothing but that in a speech that's supposed to be like a unifying speech. He gave a campaign speech, and a very divisive campaign speech where he did nothing except get up there, be angry, attack Donald Trump, talk about things that he can't get done, blame everybody for it except for himself, and lie. And that's pretty much what it was. As I tweeted here, old man angrily stumbles, because he was stumbling, through lying divisive garbage. And you have people in the media that's like running cover for him saying he proved that he was mentally with it, and it's like barely. He read off a teleprompter. I was reading as I was watching the speech. Whenever he would go off script, he stumbled around all over the place. It was kind of embarrassing. And honestly, I feel like the Democrats in the audience started to applaud to kind of cover some of it up. I don't know if they had like an agreement beforehand or whatever, but that's beside the point. It was a disaster, and it's not moving the needle. He tried to go out there and stop the bleeding. He knows his approval rating's in the gutter. He's down on the economy by over 20 points in most polls. He's down on immigration by 30, inflation by 30, and over, 3/4 of the country say that the country is not on the right track, and over 2/3 say that it's on the wrong track. And did Biden go out there and exactly try to, claim things are going well? No, all he did was attack his opposition and be extremely divisive, and it was nothing more than a total shit show. And we can get into some of the lies, and I did a full response stream last night. I'll probably link it in the description down below. A lot of you guys did see it, and I feel like I hit the note on the head. I took notes during the stream, during the State of the Union that was, and then on my stream I went and I rebutted pretty much every major point that he made, because a lot of it was just dishonest. So you guys can go watch that for a longer breakdown of it. But Biden is not really moving the needle, in my opinion, with this. And we could see this because the polls after the State of the Union will make the president look good. They always do. Even Donald Trump, they made him look great. They made Obama look great during his State of the Unions, but that's because a lot of the people that watch the State of the Union are going to be supporters of that president, and that's who tends to be polled. Donald Trump would poll in the 70s, sometimes in the 80s, among speech watchers if they approved of the speech, but Joe Biden, only 35% of speech watchers said that it was very positive. That's not going to move the needle if you're, full of your supporters and you could only get a little bit more than a third to say it's very positive. 29% said it was somewhat positive. I don't think that's going to move the needle a whole lot, especially given the fact that probably 2/3 of speech watchers actually happen to be Biden supporters. And it's a CNN poll. Usually their snap polls do overfavor the Dems. And on top of that, 35% said that they had a negative reaction, whereas Donald Trump in his speeches, the negative reactions were in the low 20s, they were in the teens. So Biden already, based off of that benchmark, didn't do a very good job, despite having a very favorable audience to his speech, as most presidents would have. And also the economy numbers, which they keep getting revised down. Well, you look at how Biden's economic policies are viewed among speech watchers. Only 56%, according to that poll, said that they approve of Biden's economic policies, which is not a good thing because he's trying to cling to the economy. It makes him seem out of touch because it's not working for a majority of Americans. He's going out there talking about shrinkflation, like it's not like he's exactly stopping the problem. He's trying to blame corporations, but that's just their, response to trying to keep their profit margins. They're not trying to raise it up necessarily. And on top of that, he's going to try to buy out student loan debt, probably. He's talking about 15 million new jobs, which most of which are recovered from the pandemic. Stock market, it's going up. He didn't mention that, but it's a common talking point of his, but it was going up far more under Trump, and it's a lagging indicator. It's possibly not crashing because they anticipate that Biden's going to lose, but still, What did he do? Go out there, gave a divisive speech, just attacked Donald Trump. It was a campaign speech is what it was. You know, he took this platform and that's what he decided to do. And is it going to move the needle? No, it's not. You know, he goes out there, talks about Ukraine and Jan 6 for the first 10 minutes. Then he talks about abortion and IVF fearmongers. It's the woman he pointed to in the crowd that he said, you know, had a life at risk, did not technically have a life at risk in that case. She just wanted to have an elective abortion. Then he would go out there. He talked about the economy. He brought up all these lies, the voter suppression lie again, the dark money lie when he's benefiting from it, brought up the need for gun control yet again, which has not really become a winning issue for Democrats at this point. He pissed off both sides in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict because he's not calling for a ceasefire, and he is somehow supporting a two-state solution at the same time. He cannot win on this issue. People are upset with that completely. And on top of it, there was the whole border lie because that's his big issue, and he's trying to blame Republicans because they shot down a bill that did not solve the problem. If anything, it gave pseudo-amnesty to a lot of these people and kind of funded and incentivized even more illegal immigration, even more of an invasion than we already have right now at our southern border. And that's exactly why Biden's not really going to spin these issues with any effectiveness. Then he finally acknowledges Laken Riley and the tragic case in Georgia. He refers to her as Lincoln Riley, who is the coach of the USC Trojans. So ultimately speaking, he made a fool out of himself, and he thought he could one-up Republicans in that exchange, and it kind of backfired completely because it's like, yeah, he's like, oh, well, actually, it's the Republicans' fault for why I can't do anything at the border. Well, the reason why we have a crisis at the border is directly due to executive action that Joe Biden has taken. He could do executive action to reverse the problem at the southern border, but has he done that? No, because he wants to grandstand, blame Republicans, and have all these people come in. And under the bill that he calls bipartisan and would have border security, what does it exactly do? Well, that would be something that would have people that are crossing during Biden's administration be voting by the 2032 election. He's playing the long game is exactly what he's doing because he knows those people are going to come in. A lot of them are going to be on government assistance. A lot of them are going to be voting Democrat in the 2032 election or whenever they vote. And he's like, oh, this bill gives 100 more judges or something like that for the border. And it's like, well, if you divide the amount of illegal immigration by the amount of judges, very few cases would actually be heard. So all of it is a word salad. It's rhetoric that if somebody has an iota of critical thinking skills, it just goes out the window. So Biden's banking on America being completely dumb. But even then, you look at polling, and Americans are fed up with Joe Biden's job approval on every single issue. They are, and trying to say, oh, Trump is indecent or whatever, I don't think it's going to cut it at this point. It's really not. Biden's not some unknown entity. It's not like it's Trump and then some guy who stays in his basement. It's Trump's administration versus Biden's, and Biden's not doing too well. And he finally acknowledged that an illegal alien was the one responsible for the death and murder of Laken Riley, and he says illegal once, and then the Democrats, all of them, not just this guy, but there's like dozens that were saying, I'm disappointed to hear Biden use the word illegal, it's undocumented. And like they're more upset with the fact that Biden acknowledged this than the actual event that took place. These people are completely insane. They have no business being in positions of power. And I think the American people can realize it at this point. Joe Biden has done nothing to benefit this country. That's why he went through this speech and he was complaining about not getting things done instead of actually getting things done because it was a political speech. It was something that was meant to cater to his core base, but his core base is going to be with him and vote for him really no matter what. He's down horrendously among independent voters, and if you're going to go out there and give a speech that's very divisive to a bunch of people who already are skeptical of you, it's going to make them even more skeptical of Biden. It really will. And that's that. And in terms of the Republican response, I thought it was weak. I thought that Katie Britt did not exactly do the best job, mainly because she listened to consultants. It's not that what she was saying was bad, but the way that she delivered it kind of became a story for the wrong reasons. I believe Donald Trump, he did a great job on Truth Social. He was going out there, he was saying, the drugs are starting to wear off. He was posting memes. He was going out there and rebutting Biden the way that you should if you're, going to do a rebuttal. I would have liked to see him do the video rebuttal because Biden wanted to make it a campaign speech. Okay, well, why can't the Republicans flip that on its head and have Donald Trump go out there and give the rebuttal? Because that's what this election is going to be between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. Biden decided to give a campaign speech. He was angry. And that's not usually what you do during a State of the Union. Donald Trump would go out there during the State of the Union. He would give a more unifying speech, and even some Democrats on CNN, they were coping horrendously afterwards because they knew it was a good speech. They really struggled to spin it into being something bad. They know it had a unifying tone. But when it comes down to Joe Biden, like at least the last couple State of the Unions he did, which again, they were not good, but still, they maintain that same tone. This shows he's desperate, and he's in a whole lot of trouble, and that's why the approval of Biden's State of the Union is dipping, even though a lot of people that are a part of that 56%, like most of the people that watched the speech to begin with happen to be Biden supporters, just like most people that were watching Trump's State of the Union were Donald Trump supporters. But still, Biden is struggling. He's struggling even with his own base because of the whole Palestine thing and him saying the word illegal. It definitely did not bode too well for him among his own base. And it's not like he's making inroads because he's just coming off like a lunatic who is incapable of leadership. And if you're going to sit there in front of the entire country and do nothing except blame the other side, it's not a good look for you because it proves that he's a weak leader. He can't get things done. Blaming Republicans for the border crisis, which is his own doing, and he could easily undo it fairly easily. He could deport all of these people, but he doesn't want to do that. It's intentional. It's intentional so he can flood the country with illegal aliens. Their goal is to give them amnesty. Their goal is to naturalize them, and their goal is to have them voting as soon as they possibly can so Democrats maintain a permanent majority. So Texas goes blue, all the swing states go blue. They want to make the GOP a regional party and lock them out of power forever unless they completely compromise and become a liberal party, probably even a more liberal version of what the Democrat Party is now in terms of the way the Overton window is moving. And when you have somebody like Donald Trump who goes out there and who wants to put a stop to it, oh no, he's the evil one. He's the evil one for standing up for this country. It's quite ridiculous, but either way, it's not making him look good. We'll see if his approval rating moves. I don't even know if he's going to get a dead cat bounce because of it. It just wasn't that much of a good look. The way that they're trying to spin it is, oh, well, he didn't have a whole lot of ridiculous gaffes, even though he had several. Oh, he talked for an hour. He's more than capable of being president. Like, that's their bar. It kind of proves that he's not, but that's a whole nother story. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Red Eagle, out.